Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First. How's everybody doing today? It is Tuesday, May 5th. First thing I want to tell everybody is, I want to tell everybody first and foremost, I'll be at a meetup on May 29th, Jeremy Jennings in Temecula, California. It's in the SoCal group. I'll put a link down in this here if you guys want to come out there. I don't know if I'm doing a commercial class there yet, but we'll find out here in the coming days. You guys all know you can go to National Cleaning Expo and get that information if you need to. Let's get into this, guys. You saw the title there. It reads, and by the way, comment if you want to comment or ask questions. They're going to pop up on the thing. Matter of fact, if some of these guys are watching right now, they want to comment just to say hello, whatever. That way I know the comments are actually coming up on the screen. Guys, right here, this is a poster that I made, and it says, Contractors Choose Your Own Market. Very valuable information here. Very, very valuable information. And I'll tell you why it's valuable. It makes no difference whether you're in the residential market or the commercial market. I've always been a big proponent of I choose my customers don't choose me. I've always says that. And I made this poster here, Contractor Choose Your Market, meaning you determine what you're going after. You're the guy that determines, you determine whether to, do the things that you're supposed to be doing as far as the right customer. And what this really means is and if you guys can see that poster there, in the commercial world, properties are rated A, B, and C. In the residential game, it's rated high income, middle income, and lower income. And on the spectrum, they're the same thing. The A property is the high income, the B property is the middle income property, the C income is a budget property, and in residential, it's a lower income property. What guys always get messed up with, and we're going to go through some of these posters here that I made, and this first one here is this is basically what I just said about the differences. These are the differences right here, guys. And when you're talking about the ABC, or whether it's high, middle, or low income, there's nothing different. I am not a Democrat or a Republican. I don't believe in any of that stuff. It's silliness. But anyways, you basically, the bottom line is like I was saying before, A is high income. In homeowners, high income is the high income property. That's just how that works. If you guys can chime in there so I can see some of this is working, that's great. I'm going to go back to the original poster because I got a lot of guys in here, and I want to tell them this is about choosing your customer, choosing the right customer. Customers don't choose you. Don't worry about the $99 guy, because when I get done with this, you're going to understand why the $99 guy exists, and you're going to understand that that's not your customer. So moving on with this, I'm going to go over this again. In the commercial world, A, B, C, those are the property levels, meaning that, an A customer is a premium location, a B is a medium, a balanced budget location, middle of the road, and a C is a budget focused location. In the residential market, the A is the high income property, the B is the middle income property, and the C is the lower income property. I'm going to go ahead and go to poster 2. We always get some trolls on here as we go through. So on slide number 2, like I was saying, you have premium locations, you have budget locations, and this is on the commercial side, and then you have price sensitive locations. Obviously, we want to be in the high budget locations. We want to be going after high income locations if we're in the residential world. And the bottom line in this whole thing is, guys, is You choose this market, okay? You are the company, you're the person that chooses this market. I've always been big on this. Don't let customers choose you, you choose your customers. And you're gonna wind up being a lot happier if you're focusing on that. Some of these guys know this guy, and a lot of times people go all the time to me, well, Ron, how do you identify an A property? How do you identify a high income property? Well, in an A property situation, you're gonna probably know things in an A property like the tenants that might be in the situation. Does it have a Family Dollar store in the shopping center, or does it have a Rolex in the shopping center? Okay, if there's a Rolex in the shopping center and all these higher end Gucci handbags, things like that, it's probably an A property. It probably has a good budget, and it's probably paying a lot of money to wash, and they also have higher expectations. Because keep in mind, when you're talking about washing for an A property versus a C property, or a high income residential property versus a low income property, let's talk about this. What is a lower income person focused on? Price. Is that the customer that you want? It works the same in the commercial world. If you've got an A property, they're not focused on price. They're focused on the higher expectations. They know that they're going to be paying top dollar, and details will matter on an A property, okay? When you're talking about a budget-focused property in the commercial, it's a price-sensitive thing, just like the lower income. They're worried about staying within budget. They want a basic service, and it's high competition. What's that mean if it's high competition? It means that often it's a race to the bottom, okay? And that's not where you want to be. And that's the whole thing of this is you want to add value, okay? You want to add value when you're in a B property. It's a value-driven thing. When it's in a premium property, we're not even talking about value, because if you're not the best out there, you're not going to get these people's business, and they're going to pay for that type of service. So in the middle income property, when you go back to residential, when you're talking high income, they're not focused on price either. They're also paying for the quality service, and details matter. It's the same thing, okay? When you're talking about middle income residential property, then this is when all this values talk comes into play, and they're still shopping smart, and they want a reliable person, okay? They're focused on reliability, maybe safety, things like that. Where the lower income, we go into the lower income again, they're basically just focused on price, their basic needs, and everything is cost driven. Everything is cost driven. So guys, I hope this helps you out and gets you thinking and clicks in your brain that you need to be focused on choosing your customers, not your customers choosing you. I'm going to mention this gentleman just as a short skit. He is a carpet cleaning guy originally, and we all know that carpet cleaners often have, the race to the bottom mentality. Well, the thing about the carpet cleaning world is identifying somebody that is a high income property versus a lower income property sometimes can be a little bit more difficult. And sometimes you can't tell because you can't judge a book by its cover. But what he has done is he went after a niche market. And we all know people that have real wood floors, okay? Don't tell me your mother-in-law's broke and has a wood floor. Typically are higher income people. They don't put wood floors in. They're not cheap. They cost a lot of money to maintain. When you put a wood floor in and you see that shine across the room, you're paying for that, and you're going to pay dearly to maintain it. Now, what this gentleman did was he was in the carpet cleaning business years ago, and he realized he didn't want to be the race to the bottom guy. And he started getting into taking care of wood floors. And all of a sudden, his average ticket, where you're a carpet cleaner on average daily ticket, you can hustle and go and make $800, which is still $250,000. You can now go and start doing, and this is an example, the wood flooring restoration. And now the average daily ticket is $3,000, $4,000, and as an average daily ticket, meaning that he has days where he does $8,000 or $9,000, and then days where he only does $1,500 or $2,000. But his average is way much higher than he was when he was doing carpet cleaning for low-income customers. Okay, so I gave you that as an example. It's all relative. It doesn't make a difference. I told you that A properties, they're going to have things like manicured landscaping. They're going to have great exterior lighting, the permanent exterior lighting. They're going to have fountains throughout their place. They're probably going to be pavers or stamped concrete instead of just asphalt. These are some of the things that you can help identify these properties. Now, there's a lot of guys out there that make good money even doing in lower income and budget focused, okay? Because we all know sometimes you use loss leaders, you're going to attract those type of customers. But if you are this guy that upsells, some guys call it the bait and switch, it's just not the mentality or the way I wanted to run a business. I didn't want to be out there all the time trying to upsell somebody. I would much rather have a premium customer or a high-income customer. Premium customer being an A property and commercial, and if I were to do residential, I would probably be only doing high-end. Now, there are more B customers. There are more middle-income customers, okay? That's just how that goes. Well, I shouldn't say more middle-income customers. There's more probably lower-income customers, but there's more middle-income customers. Let's correct myself, washing, okay? Because we know that lower-income customers, they're not washing often. So there's more middle-income customers that are actually buying services. Higher-end customers are just less, but they pay exponentially more. So the whole point of this thing is what do you want to be? Do you want to service high-end customers, middle-income customers, lower-income customers? Because when you start servicing them all, that's where things get difficult. And that's where people don't understand, and they complain about, people are always talking about price. If somebody calls you and they tell you that you're too high, okay, you're somewhere in the middle, and you've got you're between middle income and lower, and you've got lower income people calling you because they wouldn't complain about the price if they were a higher income customer. Oh, and by the way, because you've got a lower price, the high income customer doesn't even call you, okay? They don't call you. They know that you might, they're suspicious that you might be chucking the truck. You're not safe to be around their house, their children, their pets, or their kids. So the bottom line is you have to be focused laserly even on your pricing, because that's what's going to determine whether you get the calls from the high income customers, or if you're stuck in a pricing where you're between the middle income and the lower customers, you really got a problem, because you're getting lower income customers calling you saying, hey, you're too much, will you do it for this? And then they want to start dickering on price. They want to start trying to bring you down. You do not want to, you don't want to be in that mode. I have a training video that I put out there for finding employees. And I always try to tell people, if they start at a lower wage to pay somebody, the guy that's worth it is never calling them to get the job. And then they're frustrated why they can't find good employees. If you post the job at a really good salary, astronomically higher than you think you would pay, you're going to get quality people calling you. It's the same thing. The same thing And the same psychology in finding a good employee translates to finding a good customer. If your prices are higher, the lower income people, they're not calling you. The middle income people might call you because this time they want a premium service, because their middle of the road guy that they had been using, they're not happy with. And now they're willing to pay the high income value. Bottom line is, that's the psychology of this. That's how it actually works. I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to argue this point with me. I'm sure that there'll be some people that might argue it, but I don't think it's arguable. Bottom line is, it is, and I'll put this one up here, guys. There it is. Trevor Steele, known him for 20 years. Truth Bombs. There it is. Appreciate that, Trevor. Guys, glad you guys can listen to this tonight. I'm glad that I had a bunch of guys on. I guess maybe I'll be doing more videos in the middle of the day, because had a pretty decent audience. By the way, guys, all you guys watching, if you want to chime in and you want a couple of these for free, I'll send you a couple for free. Just chime in right here and share this thing. Share this video and like it, and tell me you want a couple of these, and we'll reach out to you and grab an address to get them sent to. They're safety stickers. They're safety stickers, guys. They go on your rigs. Who knows? Somebody might get their rig saved from getting hit in the middle of the street, dark parking lot, wherever you might be. But they're safety stickers. Go ahead and post below, and we'll see if we can get you a couple. Appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First. Go to nationalcleaningexpo.com. You'll find out when my next commercial selling is. It's about a 4-hour program. It's absolutely free. If you're interested in, chime and share the video, and we'll get you into the free group. We meet on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. every week. Talk to you guys later. Love it. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First. We're out.